Another person who appears not too happy with Trump's big ugly bill is Elon Musk, who used to be best buds with Donald Trump. That seems way in the rearview mirror at this point. And so he, remember, said he's gonna come into government, he's gonna save all this money, solve all our problems by cutting spending. And then as he's doing that, they're prepping for a more than $4 trillion price tag for this bill. So seems a little bit inconsistent there. Well, he went on CBS and aired his issues with the bill.
I was like disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the DOGE team is doing.
I actually thought that when this big, beautiful bill came along. I mean, like, everything he's done on DOGE gets wiped out in the first year.
I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. My personal opinion.
Personal opinion, also bear in mind he's an idiot. But anyway, yeah, I don't like much that he said there. I do like how he looks. He looks like he's going through hell, and I wish that on him. I really do. Man, the settlements he's gonna have to pay to the women he knocks up are just gonna get higher and higher the more he looks the way he does. But anyway. So that is him talking about the fact that they're not cutting nearly enough. Remember, he doesn't want any of these programs. Now, he doesn't have to, like many of these Republicans, run for re-election after having passed a bill that's wasteful and damaging. So he doesn't really care that much about that. But let's just run through some of the numbers that we're talking about there. So over $4 trillion tax cut, depending on which organization you look at, that number could be significantly higher. Hundreds of billions of dollars to beef up border security. $2.3 trillion added to the deficit. We've got $150 billion, remember, also being added to the military budget. So whatever doggy has managed to cut has been swallowed up many, many times over, just with more xenophobic spending. That's it. And when Musk comments on this, I want you to bear in mind that he kind of has a pretty significant set of vested interests in what this bill includes or doesn't include. So the bill is due to end a $7,500 tax credit for EVs, as well as adding a $250 annual registration fee for owners. So poorer people that want to be able to buy an EV had gotten some help from prior administrations, including Biden. They want to kill that because screw the poors. They don't deserve these cars. Only rich people should ever have them, I'm being told by the Republicans. Now, Musk has himself called for the killing of those subsidies, which you might think is sort of weird. And it is, they benefit his business, but they also help to level the playing field a little bit with other companies that are making EVs. And he seems to have run the numbers and figured out that he can weather the loss of those subsidies with Tesla better than the other companies can. And sure, that means that plenty of people who love Musk and Tesla that would like to get a Tesla won't be able to, but he doesn't give a damn about them. He only wants to crush his competition. And so there's a lot of stuff also in there that is going to benefit him and his business interests. So he's hardly an unbiased party in this. But Sharon, I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I think he is like a scorned lover, okay? He's not with the in crowd anymore. He was used and abused and then thrown out like trash. And he just is doing these stupid interviews to try to get back in the spotlight. It's like, I'm gonna call your sister now and be best friends with her, and then you'll have to deal with me. It's just like, this guy is a fraud, a loser. Some of the biggest spending out there is on him and his companies. And by the way, whatever they increase with the military budget and the border budget, it's just gonna, in my opinion, go to certain companies, and there's gonna be a lot of fraud there too. It's not really, it's just in there as a placeholder to make certain people, certain constituents think, yeah, this is good. He's looking out for us. He's protecting America's borders. No, he's not, okay? No. That's not what's really going on here.
Not at all. And here's my advice to him. First of all, before the show, you were talking about how kids do all these videos about skincare routines. First of all, Musk, look into it. Jesus Christ, you could have a makeup person following you around everywhere you go. You wouldn't even notice the expense. You're a mess, dude. Also, how about go to work? You have lots of jobs, right? Why don't you show up for one of those? He's doing these interviews or whatever. Have you even done anything at Tesla in literally months? You're you're part of this movement that's demonizing people as being too lazy, as they're struggling to survive on less than $20,000 a year. This dude's drawing multiple salaries, doesn't even remember the companies that he works for. There is nobody who is as much of a parasite as a billionaire in America. They soak up what we generate And they feel entitled to far more. It's disgusting. But anyway, he also feels entitled to your sympathy because everybody's been so mean to him. So let's turn now to this. Elon Musk is all in his feelings, feeling so sorry for himself about how Doggy is perceived by people, how mean everyone's been to it. He said in a recent interview, Doggy is just becoming the whipping boy for everything. So like something bad would happen anywhere and we would get blamed for it, even if we had nothing to do with it. He expressed dismay over the reputational hits his companies took. People were burning Teslas. Why would you do that? That's really uncool. And he would know, being so cool and doing all these cool things like making it so you can't get to your social security check and clawing back money that's already been given to people that he says are dead when they're not, or demonstrating on a daily basis that he doesn't understand how code or spreadsheets work and all that cool stuff where he'd bust into a building filled with people who've been working there for years or decades. And then he brings in a 17-year-old boy that he sleeps in the same big room with and then says, we know better. All of that is very, very cool. And so stop being so mean to him, everyone. And why is everyone blaming Doggy for everything? I mean, they only went into a different government department every single day for weeks and destroyed everything they could get their hands on. Why would people start to believe that they're responsible for our problems? It's weird, Sharon, how people came to those wild conclusions. What do you think?
Elon Musk and his friend Big Balls broke into places, sent emails harassing people, demanding to know their workflow, or else, as you mentioned, fired people, laid off people, tried to bring people back. He was just so damn ugly, okay? Everything he did was ugly. And now he's crying foul. They were terrorists. They walked around like terrorists on the government's dime, okay? And nobody should feel sorry for him now that you're ostracized. I thought he was working to be the most hated guy in the world. I thought that's what he wanted, the way he was behaving. Well, now you got it.
Yeah, 100%. Like his biggest issue is that outside of, I guess, the hype that he was successful in generating for Tesla years ago, that hasn't worked for some time. He doesn't understand how normal people will interpret the things that he says and does. He gets that his cult, the very narrow, the weirdest segment of American society will like this stuff, that he can do pretty much anything, but he just doesn't know how regular people interpret things. And that is just causing him to step on one rake after another, bashing himself in the face, which would also explain the video of him we saw earlier. In any event, one of the ways that he's processing his feelings is responding to the people on Twitter who pay for the privilege of being on Twitter. So one guy, Matt Van Swole, says, Doggy is literally one of the most popular government initiatives in history. 73% of Americans say they support cutting government waste, which those are two sentences that he's trying to make it seem as if those are logically connected when they're actually very separate things. Trump brought in the smartest man on earth to do it. God, the left destroyed Elon for it. The GOP won't vote on it. I can't believe this. Now that's really sad. But the sadder thing is that Elon Musk responds to this. He's not even tagged in the tweet. This didn't appear automatically for him. He had to find this thing and he says, did my best. A guy said that he's the smartest man on earth and he responded to it like it was a serious comment. Worthy of the richest man in the world, spending his time responding to it on his phone. Utter madness. This guy, J. Michael Waller, says, Doggy is more popular now than the American Revolution was 250 years ago. Only about a third of Americans supported independence when the fight began in 1775, which is credit to him. That's the weirdest thing you could say to justify Doggy, I think. I don't know how good the polling was in 1775. I feel like they've learned a little bit since then. Also, like you could use that to justify almost anything. So, okay, I don't know what he's for or against, but I'll say, how about women having control over what happens to their body? It's more popular than the American Revolution was 250 years ago. I guess you need to bow down to it. My God, Twitter is just the worst people, the dumbest people, all yelling at each other all day long. I am so glad that I pulled the ripcord on that thing years ago. But anyway, really fast, I'll also mention he is still getting some support. I was gonna say from people in power, but also from Ron DeSantis, fresh off of being booed out of a WWE event. He said, "I don't think there's any question that Doggy fought the swamp, and so far the swamp has won." And that's just unfortunate, but I don't think you can look at this any other way. God, you're sad, you little suck up. But also, Trump put out this fundraising email saying Trump's doggy is in danger. And so like he's saying about how it needs to be saved or whatever. But what's interesting about that is it's Musk free. He wants to still have what I guess the rub he thinks he can get from doggy, but Musk has been like purged from it at this point. And I only include this because I'm not even gonna add Elon on this video, but I know he'll find it because he searches his own name a bunch. I just want him to see that Trump is still using the branding of doggy, but Musk is, again, rear view mirror. Any final thoughts?
I just think it's lovely, okay? And Musk is gonna weasel his way back in. This talk about, I'm not done spending, I'm taking my money, my ball, go home. He'll be back because he's not gonna let you forget him. And then we're gonna see this epic explosion between these two gross personalities. And it's gonna be delicious to watch for the most part until we catch the fallout as the American people.
Yeah, the issue he has, the thing that's always undercut him is that he is not actually interested in doing serious, difficult work and sticking with it. Like actually fixing Tesla, I think is possible. You could do it, it would take some time, he'll get bored.
They don't
He already
want
got a
him back,
Cybertruck. He doesn't want to work on an affordable Tesla or updating the Model 3 and the Model S. That's for the nerds to do. He wants to do exciting stuff like destroy the government. Well, good luck with that.